Welcome to Financial Investing Radio, where you'll learn the secrets for consistent, high-probability returns in the financial markets for additional income to change your life. Grant creates consistent, high-probability trading systems for the financial markets and has applied them over the past 5 years. He's only recently started sharing these tried and true market secrets. As a gift to listeners, Grant is offering his high-probability indicators for free. Go to financialinvestingradio.com and download yours today. Now, here's your host and trading veteran, Grant Larson.
Hey everybody, this is Grant, and welcome to another episode of Financial Investing Radio. So in these podcasts, we share lessons learned with financial investing. The real focus is on the activities involved for the self-directed investor. So someone that's trying to take control of their own financial future. At least a portion of it comes through this avenue. And I believe in a diversified approach. But for our purposes, we're going to look at investing in the markets. And we'll look at several perspectives. We're going to look at futures, and over time we'll look at options and at stocks as well. Now, I wanted to sort of harken back to an experience I had growing up. Part of my early years as a kid was in Minnesota, and we lived right by the Mississippi River. And one day, now this was in the early spring, so there was still ice along the edges of the river, but the water was flowing heavy. And a neighbor kid, we were down along the river playing by it, decided that he wanted to float down the river. And he looked around for something to get out and float on, and he ultimately began chopping the ice. And he cut off a section of the ice and had a stick that he pushed out into the river. And as he got probably 25 yards out into the river, some water started to get onto this chunk of ice, and it got really slippery. And he started to slide off of it, and ultimately he fell into the water. Now he had on a coat and boots and hat and gloves, and he went under and started to bob up and down. Of course, my brother and I were frantic, looking for a large stick that we could grab to ultimately pull him out of there and get him into safety. That was a scary moment for all of us, and of course, obviously, we were shaken. And he was, of course, shaken the most as we pulled him out of there. We asked him, why would you do this? And, he said, well, I just really wanted to float down the river. I says, well, okay, maybe there's another way. Now, I've been investing and trading for 5 years, and at times it's felt like this neighbor kid, right, who wanted to float down the river but didn't have the right tools or the equipment or the training. Now, I certainly admire the courage, to jump onto a self-made boat. In this case, it was literally a piece of ice. But we can drown financially pretty easily, as you've all seen, in the financial markets if we don't have that right equipment. Now, there are many human needs, and one of them that affects our investing is the need for certainty. And as I talk with other traders, most people want consistent profits. I know I do. And so what really started me on this journey was desire. I saw a potential, as I'd mentioned in my previous podcast, I saw a potential for achieving returns that could impact my family and my life, but I could see the risk conceptually. But I hadn't experienced that yet, and I didn't experience it until I actually started investing, until I jumped in the river and started trying to paddle down it. But I did it without the proper training. So I didn't have all of the right equipment and elements that I needed. And so I got some training, and I'm going to discuss that more in some other podcasts. But some of the training didn't provide the right equipment. And then I launched into the river, so to speak, and ended up experiencing the negative results, which is, I might drown here. But it was the desire that served as the catalyst to want to achieve these results of effective investing and of consistent profits. So to do this, we need desire, but we need the training that's based on experience and based on a plan. Now, something that I've learned is to understand the relationship between how hard the engine in a car is working and how fast the car is moving, right? You've all experienced that. As the car moves up the hill, the engine works harder, but if we don't have any momentum with us, then the car starts slowing down. And just the inverse also, going downhill. So there's a relationship there, of course, between the energy going into the engine of the car and how fast the car is actually working. That principle applies to the market. And then in this particular podcast, over the next several podcasts, we're going to focus on that principle of how can I understand how the engine is working and what the speed is relative to that energy of the engine, and how can I apply that to my trading. We're going to start with futures initially, and we'll focus on the indexes initially to get this started. And then over time, as I'd mentioned, we'll look into options and stocks as well. Now, to continue your journey, and I'm so glad that you've joined me here, to continue your journey, please join me over on financialinvestingsecrets.com. And there's several opportunities there for learning more information, some things that I give away that you can pull into your trading environments, and I give them for free. And you can go take advantage of those and look into that. So I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Financial Investing Radio. My name is Grant, and thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining Grant on Financial Investing Radio. Remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Don't forget to download your free high probability indicators before your next trade. Visit financialinvestingradio.com now.